Welcome back to Faces and Places across the United States. Sandra is talking to Heidi in Utah this week. Welcome back, Sandra.
Thank you, Melissa. Welcome to our chat. Welcome to Faces and Places across the United States. My name is Sandra and I'll be your host today. Today, I'll be talking to our guest, Heidi. Hi, Heidi.
Hi.
It's great to have you here today in our American English at State Facebook page. We are delighted that you have joined us today for this web chat. And before we begin, we would like to ask our audience where they're joining us from today. And I'm going to ask you my first question. Where are you right now and where are you from?
So I'm from Utah and I'm actually in Utah right now. With the pandemic, I ended up moving back in with my parents. So I am in the same house I grew up in.
Oh, wow. That must be nice to be around your family and kind of remembering where you grew up.
It is. It's nice to be with them.
So I heard that Utah has a nickname and I want to know if you know which one it is and why.
So Utah is the Beehive State, and it's the Beehive State because the first white settlers that came to Utah used the symbol of the beehive to represent industry and hard work. And it became a symbol for the state. You can see it here at the state capitol building, and you also see it on the state flag of Utah.
So people like to work a lot in Utah.
Yes.
Like bees. So how's the weather there today?
Today it's kind of cold, but it should be a pretty good day.
Does it snow a lot in Utah?
It really depends on the year. We haven't had a lot of snow this year, but some years we get lots and lots of snow.
Good. So here in Washington is a little cold, no snow or anything like that, but it is a little cold. So it's definitely the winter now. Before we start our conversation today, I want to share with you where people are joining us from. So we have Jonas from Morocco saying hello. We have Abdul saying hello and saying, how are you doing? We have Min saying hello from Myanmar. We have Carla Salazar from Mexico. We have John from Malaysia. We have Gokhan from Turkey. We have Abdul from Indonesia and saying, glad to see you again. Sahil from Pakistan. We have Carmen from Thailand. Samin from, Carmen Garcia from Spain. We have Samin from Afghanistan. We have Marx from Ethiopia and Safet from Montenegro. This is just to name a few. So thank you so much for being here and for joining us this morning, afternoon, or evening. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you? What do you do?
So right now, I just finished up teaching community English classes at the University of Utah here in Utah. And then I also work as the assistant director at a small English school in Provo, Utah.
So you have been a teacher and now teaching online like everybody around here.
Yep.
So it's good to have you here and thank you again for joining us. We had some questions and comments from our audience that they have submitted and let's see if we can answer some of these questions today. We have Rehanna saying, hello, Heidi. I like to know how people save themselves from snowstorms in Utah. And also this interesting question, Planet of the Apes and Arabian Nights are two films shot in Utah. Do you like watching movies? And what is a sport that everyone enjoys during winter time? So we'll get to those questions at the end. We have Ariano Klaus saying, what's Utah famous for? Which is the safest town in Utah? Do you have casinos in Salt Lake City? What is the main religion and what is the most popular sport? So thank you, Ariano Clau, for those questions. And we have Abdul saying American English at State. I love to see beautiful views. I have been waiting for that. It would be better if Heidi provides some videos of lovely nature and national parks. Okay, so we have other questions. It's great to know more about Utah national parks. Those are comments from Hannah Lady. We also have Fabrizio, who already knew that Utah is known as the Beehive State. And we have Karima asking, are national parks in Utah open all year long? Are they free? like Washington, D.C. museums? How do we call people from Utah? And can you tell us if it's true that Michael Jordan, the famous basketball player, has lived in Utah? Okay, so we have a lot of questions, but before we answer all of these wonderful questions from our audience, you share with me about something that you do with your family, a tradition that you have. Can you tell me what did you do in this family vacation and tradition?
Yeah, so every year, right around the 4th of July, my family and I go on a camping trip down by Capitol Reef National Park. It's in the central part of Utah. This area, and this is all my family, so it's generally my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, whoever from the family can comes, and we go camping for about a week. This place is really special to my family because it is close to the part of the state where my grandparents were both born and raised. They were born and raised in two really little tiny towns in Utah called Teasdale and Fremont. And the park and where we camp is really close to there. So it's an annual family vacation we go on.
So you take this family vacation and you started this tradition where your grandparents, how has it passed down to all of you?
I think it's just something that we've always enjoyed doing. It's something that we've looked forward to as a time to kind of get away from work and the busyness of our lives. And it's always been fun to see the places where my grandparents grew up. And I just think it's just become a tradition, something that we've passed down to each other.
And now you look forward to it every year. But I'm sure there is a lot of preparation that goes with it. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do to plan for this vacation?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things is we have to think about all the things we need. So we have to plan all our gear. For my family, that's tents and sleeping bags and our food. We have to plan out our menus and what we're going to eat each day. And then the equipment we need to cook the food. So taking grills and Dutch ovens and all the different things we need to cook our food while we're out on the mountain. And then also coordinating with other members of the family. Sometimes we plan meals together or other activities together. And so we have to coordinate with each other as well.
So of all the things that you do during this time that you're on vacation, what has been the most memorable part? Something that you will always remember and look forward to?
I think there are two things that I really remember and think about. The first one is kind of an annual tradition. There's a waterfall that's just a short hike from the campground. And every year we hike to the waterfall. And near the waterfall, there are some sandstone cliffs where we've carved our initials. And many other people have carved their initials in these cliffs. And so every year we hike down to the waterfall and find our initials and our names and those of our cousins and our other family members. So that's something that we always look forward to and we always make sure we do while we're down there. Another favorite memory is actually this picture that you're seeing. This last year when we went, my brother and sister and I did a hike called Sulphur Creek. And it's a hike through a narrow canyon along the river. And it was just beautiful and so much fun to do this hike with my brother and sister. It's something my brother has wanted to do for several years, and we finally did it this year, and it was really memorable, really beautiful.
How long did it take you to get up there?
So it takes us about 4 hours to drive to the campground from where I live in Utah. And then for our hike, this hike, Sulphur Creek, took about, I think, 3 or 4 hours.
Wow. So it is kind of like an all-day trip.
Yep.
Well, those are beautiful pictures. Thank you so much for sharing and that wonderful story of carving your names. That's something that you will always remember. If you're just joining us, we are chatting with Heidi, who is in Utah and is sharing with us about a family tradition, which is a vacation. So this sounds wonderful, but have you encountered any difficulties or issues when you are up there camping with your family? Any moments of danger or kind of worrisome moments?
Um, I can't think of anything really specific. Usually the weather can sometimes be a problem. About every year that we go down there, it rains when we're down there. We always make the joke that we bring the rain when we come because it almost always rains. And sometimes the rain can cause problems. We've also had years that it's hailed or snowed there. And occasionally, if it's a lot of rain, we might have problems. One year we had our tents leak, so we had to get the things in our tents dry, and that caused some problems. So sometimes just dealing with the weather can be a challenge.
Can you tell me a little bit about this picture here? Who is there and what were you doing?
Yeah, so on the side you see the waterfall. This is the waterfall I talked about earlier where we carve our names. And then the other picture is my brother and sister. And in this picture, they're actually sitting on a rock that's on top of the waterfall. So we'll hike to the bottom of the waterfall, but then we also will hike up to the very top of the waterfall, and that's where they are.
It looks like it was a beautiful day and sunny skies.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice. So what would you tell someone who wants to start this kind of tradition of hiking trips as a family vacation? What is some advice for them?
I think my first advice is think about when you want to go and when is a good time to go to that location. For example, where we go, it's really hot in the summer, so we often don't have a lot of time to explore the park because it's so hot. So we stay where it's a little cooler and more shady. So you want to, of course, think about the weather and then think about the things that you need to have a successful trip. And then for us, there's a lot of memory and a lot of meaning in the place that we go. And as we've gone here for many, many years, it's become an important place to us and a place where we have lots of good memories and good feelings.
Yeah, I think you shared with me earlier about the food that you eat and something that you always prepare when you're there. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so we cook a lot because my family camps in tents. We generally cook outside. So a couple of things that we love to do is we'll make things on a grill, like we'll make pancakes or breakfast. But one of our very favorite things is to cook in our Dutch oven. And a Dutch oven is a big metal pot made of cast iron that you can you put it over coals or over the fire and use it to cook in. And we cook lots of different things, chicken and rice, pizza in our Dutch oven. But our favorite thing is to cook dessert in our Dutch oven. And we always cook, we generally make cobbler while we're down there, which is a dessert of fruit and cake. My mom also has a chocolate and caramel cake recipe that we like to make in the Dutch oven.
Oh, that sounds so yummy. It sounds delicious. Maybe I need to go hiking with your family next time and enjoy some of this caramel cake. I love caramel and cake together. That is great. So we have some questions from our audience, and we're gonna try to get to some of them. Some of them were submitted earlier, and some have been submitted today. So we have Mustafa Samir asking, do you have a particular cuisine or the rest of the states is pretty similar?
I think it's pretty similar. So just kind of basic American cuisine. We like to eat chicken and, I mean, when we're camping, we eat chicken and rice, we eat pancakes, we eat a lot of sandwiches for lunch, things that are easy to and quick to prepare. So yeah, I don't think that we have a lot of like, it's just kind of basic American fare to me. But I think also there's a lot of variation in what Americans eat because we have a lot of different influences from different countries.
Yeah, since it's pretty popular place to camp and go hiking. You probably have a lot of international foods around that you can get. So we have Karima asking some questions. Are the 5 national parks in Utah open all year round, including holidays?
You know, I'm actually not sure. I think they are closed on some holidays, but not all holidays. But they are pretty much open year round. You can go in the summertime when it's hot, but you can also, people also will go hiking there during the winter time.
Are the parks free, or do you have to pay admission?
You have to pay to enter the parks. Generally, there's usually one day during the year that is a free national park day to give more people access to the parks, but most of the time there is a fee to enter the parks.
How do you call people from Utah?
We call people from Utah, Utahns.
Utahns. Okay, that's easy. That's easy enough. Okay, let me see. I think I have a few more questions coming in. Let's see. How's the weather today? I think we asked that earlier today, but the other part of the question is, do you go skiing often?
I don't ski. I have bad knees and skiing is a little bit expensive, so I don't ski. What I do love to do in the winter is go sledding and tubing. So we just go to a local park and slide down the hills on a sled or on a big inner tube.
Yeah, that sounds like something fun to do. And we have one more question. What is the most popular sport in Utah? Do you know?
Ugh. I would probably say in the wintertime, skiing and snowboarding. In the summertime, probably outdoor recreation like hiking, mountain biking, and rock climbing.
Yeah, that sounds like something that, you know, people can do outside, and depending on the different seasons, do different kind of things. Okay, so last question, let's see. Planet of the Apes and Arabian Nights are 2 films that were shot in Utah. Do you like watching movies?
I do like watching movies. And yeah, there have been several movies shot in Utah. High School Musical was also shot at a local high school here. An older movie, Footloose, was shot, the original Footloose was shot in Utah. So, and then of course, people love to make use of our beautiful Red Rock and other mountain scenery here in Utah. So Utah's been featured in many films.
So maybe we'll see you one day as an extra in one of those movies. Believe it or not, our time is up, and we have a lot of questions that didn't get answered, but maybe we can answer them later on our Facebook page. But we want to thank you so much for being here with us today and for sharing your story, your family tradition. What a great way to spend time with family and really getting to know each other and also enjoying time in nature.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been great to have this opportunity and share a little bit more about this place that I love.
Yes, then maybe you inspire some people to, you have inspired some people to take some hiking trips. But we want to make sure that you check our resources on our American English website, americanenglish.state.gov, our American English YouTube channel, and our American English Facebook page. Make sure you follow us and you keep asking us questions there. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks for our next session of Faces and Places across the United States. Thank you so much, Heidi, again, for being here all the way from Utah today.
Yep, my pleasure.
And we encourage you to continue to engage with our community virtually like you are doing right now. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy holidays, and thank you for watching.